Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's Sunday preview. This video is sponsored by the Game Bunker. More on that later. Sunday preview. Change comes to the Mortal Realms and the Brayherds raid the Old World. Alright, so I gotta say before we jump in here, the Games Workshop has been absolutely on fire. They are just one after one releasing stuff non-stop, and it is absolutely crazy. The new edition of Warhammer the Horus Heresy has finally been revealed, but that doesn't mean everything else is on hold. A bountiful new season of match play battles is blossoming in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, while Spearhead takes a detour to the sterile and stagnant realms of death with a new gaming pack and 4 new Spearheads. In Warhammer the Old World, the Beastmen Brayherds rise up from the wilderness and strike at the hearts of all that is good and proper, while a small contingent of Elves use the ensuing chaos to make themselves known. Finally, fans of the Middle-earth strategy battle game can look forward to a new supplement, expanding army options, some fantastic new miniatures, and key returning units. It's a packed week of pre-orders, so let's get stuck in. So there is a little video right here, but we're going to take a look at the full article of reveals. Alright, so first off we have the General's Handbook 2025-2026 for Age of Sigmar. A new season of slaughter and warfare in the Mortal Realms is at hand with the impending release of the General's Handbook 2025-26. This is a new guide for match play in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, both competitive and casual, which implements a suite of rules changes, a new take on battle tactics, and season rules that have a distinct Gyranic feel. More than just a book this time, the General's Handbook is a box containing a 72-page book, a set of 6 double-sided battle tactics cards, and a set of 6 double-sided battle plan cards, a rules reference card, and 13 double-sided Universal Manifestation War Scroll cards. Also included is a set of 6 objective markers for a new season, 2 Oakenbrow, 2 Gnarlroot, 1 Winterleaf, and 1 Heartwood, each with a non-slip backing. Alright, so we're getting a package deal this year. Instead of just the regular General's Handbook, we're getting all of this stuff bundled together. So no doubt going to see a price increase on this, but hopefully we're getting what we pay for. Next we have the new Spearhead set, Spearhead Sand and Bone. While the General's Handbook takes inspiration from the verdant realm of life, Spearhead shifts instead to the stagnant realm of death with a Sand and Bone gaming pack. The set contains 6 terrain pieces themed around Shaiish and a double-sided board representing both Dalarum and Osea. The 24-page Spearhead Sand and Bone book contains a new battle pack for Spearhead. You will still need a copy of the core rules to play. A rule for 4 new Spearhead forces, a set of 36 Spearhead cards are included and required to play, featuring 6 twist cards in each of the Osea and Dalarum sides of the board, and 2 decks of 12 battle tactics cards. Alright, so very cool. We have really enjoyed the previous Spearhead, so now looking forward to this one as well. Sand and Bone looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Vibrant game boards, awesome terrain pieces. Definitely super excited for this. And then we have our 4 new Spearhead box sets. So first we have the Sunblooded Prowlers for the Seraphon. An auspicious astral confluence sacred to the Old Ones has brought together a varied and adaptable hunting pack of Seraphon known as the Sunblooded Prowlers, mixing stealth and savage might. With a scaly core of 10 Saurus Warriors, 2 units of 5 Hunters of Hanchi, 3 airborne Terrorwings, and a hot-blooded spawn of Kotek, who hurls globs of flaming acid to weaken the group spray. Alright, so very cool. Nice new Seraphon Spearhead, nice box set. And then we have the Spearhead Fusil-platoon for the Cities of Sigmar. The mobile gunnery brigade known as the Fusil-platoon is one of the Cities of Sigmar's most flexible deployments, making great use of swift skirmishers to tie up enemy units while long-range black powder guns take aim. A Fusil Major on Ogre Warhulk acts as a commander and spotter, while an Alchemite Warforger is on hand to empower the melee weapons of a unit of 11 roving Wildercorp Hunters, as 2 units of 5 Free Guild Fusiliers hang back and unload their devastating salvos. This box also contains 2 Cities of Sigmar transfer sheets, each featuring 410 transfers. Alright, so again, nice new mix right here for the Cities of Sigmar. Definitely cool box set. And next we have the Mortisan Elite for the Osiarch Bone Reapers. Some of the greatest inventions and adaptations made by the Order of the Ossifectors have been developed under the pressure of battle, and the Mortisan Elite is a cadre of veteran constructs deployed to smash aside foes while honing their violent forms. 3 Immortus Guard, 3 Necropolis Stalkers, and 2 Morghast Arakai are observed in combat by a Mortisan Ossifector, who makes necessary adjustments to his creations mid-battle. Okay, so a much more elite force right here. Definitely a nice little mix-up for the Osiarch Bone Reapers. Very cool. Alright, and then we have the Spearhead Scrapglutt for the Ogres. Ogres are renowned for their eternal hunger, but some hunters are just as obsessed with turning discarded wreckage into lethal weapons, and then using them to hack their enemies into bite-sized morsels. The Scrapglutt is led by an Ogre Man-Trapper who brings a loyal Frost Saber to battle with him, while on the lookout for discarded junk. In this stead follows 2 units of 2 Iron Guts, and a beefier unit of 4 Iron Guts, a greedy gang of 12 Gnoblars, and a massive Gnoblar scrap launcher that's used to make up for a small stature. Okay, so nice little mix-up here for the Ogres as well, and very thematic, nice new box set. Now a quick word from today's sponsor, Game Bunker. Game Bunker carries a full range of Games Workshop products, including miniatures, terrain, paint, tools, and more. Game Bunker offers 15% off MSRP for most Games Workshop products with the discount code WHMS. Receive free shipping in the continental United States on orders over $145. Online orders ship out within 24 hours. Game Bunker is a veteran-owned business. Use affiliate link below, enter discount code WHMS to save 15% on most items at checkout. For fast, friendly service with a discount on your favorite tabletop wargaming purchases, visit GameBunker.net and let them know that Warhammer Man sent you. Alright, and then moving on to Warhammer the Old World, we have the Beastmen Brayherds. Supplement the Beastmen Brayherds army list from the Ravening Hordes book with Arcane Journal, Beastmen Brayherds, a 48-page supplement packed with additional background lore and rules. Rules for two named characters, Kralmaw, the Prophet of Ruin, and Gorus Warhof. Accompany a tale of woe in the Westerland as winter descends and isolated communities fall prey to rampaging hordes of beastmen. This book also includes rules for two new armies of infamy and will be available for pre-order in both physical softback and digital EPUB editions. Alright, and then we have the Beastmen Brayherds Battalion, so great new starter set to get your army launched off with the Beastmen. Trample the old world beneath your cloven hooves with the Beastmen Brayherds Battalion box set, including 61 plastic miniatures to kickstart your army, 2 units of 15 gores with a choice of two-handed weapons or hand weapon and shields from a sturdy core for your force, while 30 ungors ambush from the wings with spears, hand weapons or bows. Finally, a massive gorgon crashes entire regiments underfoot and swallows unfortunate warriors whole, and it can also be built as a rockling Cygor with a particular taste for enemy wizards. Okay, so really nice new box set for anybody looking to start their Beastmen army. Alright, and then we have Kralmaw, the Prophet of Ruin. Amongst these few Bray shamans blessed with a gift of foresight, none elicit such fear and enmity as Kralmaw, the Prophet of Ruin. This blind and wizened beastman is nonetheless a powerful wizard and commands great respect amongst his Brayherd for his mastery of dark and primal magic. This brand new named character is cast in Forge World Resin, and comes with a leering spirit marker that Kralmaw can use to cast the Devolve spell from across the battlefield. So excellent new model right here, unfortunately in Forge World Resin, but very, very cool nonetheless. Alright, and then we have a bunch of Beastmen Brayherd Lords returning as well, so some old models coming back. And then we've got a bunch of Beastmen Brayherds Infantry returning as well, so a bunch of plastic box sets going to be on order. So very cool to see a lot of these models that are rare and old school coming back. Then we also have some Beastmen Brayherds Monsters coming back, so some of these we haven't seen for a long time coming back into the realm, being able to order up again. So very, very cool, some nice sculpts. Just keep in mind that some of these are resin, some are plastic, etc. And then we have some returning metal Beastmen Brayherd miniatures. So again, very cool. These ones coming back in metal. A lot of these old models from classic back in the day, Warhammer Fantasy. Very nice. And then we have the Beastmen Brayherds reference cards pack and dice. So if you're looking for the reference cards pack to go along with your new rules or some awesome new dice for Warhammer the Old World, they are going to be available for pre-order next week. And then we also have some made-to-order items coming for the Elves and Wood Elves. So very cool to see some of these classic miniatures coming back. Some of them obviously holding up a little bit better than others, but if you are after these, keep in mind they are made to order, so they will be available for a limited time only. And then moving over to a Middle-earth strategy battle game, we have Armies of the Middle-earth. And then we also have Middle-earth strategy battle game match play guide. But that's not all. We also have Hera, Daughter of a Helm, on steed and on foot. We have Prince Amarahil of Dol Amroth, again on steed and on foot. Then we have the Dol Amroth dice set. Nice new dice right here, blue with some white pips. Then we have Beachbone, the Ent, so Ent coming here as well. And then we also have Balg, Swarm of Ozog, so again mounted and on foot. And then we have the Corsairs of Umbar, Ballista. And then we also have some returning Middle-earth miniatures, so some of these been hard to get for a while, coming back and will be available once again. And we've also got some monsters returning as well, so we've got some various dragons and other monsters, so very cool to see some of these miniatures coming back for anybody that's after them. And a couple more Middle-earth models coming back here, so we've got some various different stuff. So very cool for anybody that's had trouble finding these miniatures or missed out on them previously, have the opportunity to grab some of these up once again. And then moving over to Black Library, we have Space Wolves, the Young Wolf. Ragnar Blackmane is one of the most famous wolf lords, Jarl of his own great company and possessed of a berserker rage that he can tap into to slaughter his enemies. It was not always so, however, and the Space Wolf trilogy by William King tells the story of an impetuous whelp being recruited from one of the tribes of Fenris and forged into a legendary warrior via the fires of war. Collected in a numbered matte finish slipcase, Space Wolves the Young Wolf contains 3 novels. Space Wolf with introductory by Dan Abnett, Ragnar's Claw, and Grey Hunter, each with yellow cloth covers, screen printed art, and black ribbon bookmarks. So a little compilation right here, going to be limited, so if you are after this, make sure you grab it up on release date. So very cool, another big release week right here, more in the fantasy realms. We have Warhammer the Age of Sigmar, General's Handbook. We also have the new Spearhead, Sand, and Bone coming, along with 4 new Spearheads. And then, of course, we have the Beastmen Brayherds coming to Warhammer the Old World, along with a bunch of other Beastmen models and some new rules. And then we've got a new book and some returning miniatures coming from the armies of the Middle Earth. And Space Wolves the Young Wolf, a collection of Space Wolf novels. So let me know what you're most excited about, what you're going to be picking up this week. It has been a ton of releases week after week from Games Workshop. So let me know what you're most excited about from this week's releases. Maybe it's the Horus Heresy, maybe it's all this stuff coming out. Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And as always, special thanks to the Game Bunker for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on most Games Workshop products with code WHMS at checkout. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.